Hello, hello. Oh, hi. Says to test my mic, so I was testing my mic. Swim, and I don't have to worry.
I think the only thing that we're gonna do is
Yes, that's what they're predicting. It's not gonna, we're not gonna depreciate. Our homes are still gonna appreciate year by year. It's just that we're not gonna see this massive over asking and bidding wars and 100,000 over. I saw a house close. You know, I always look at the house sales. I saw one close on Egbert in Morris Township. Everybody know Egbert off Sussex? It's like you have to go like this and up a hill. It's like the oddest turn to get up if you're going from Sussex, not from Washington. But it went on for $989, I think. It sold for $1.3 million. I'm looking at the pictures, I'm like, there has to be a picture that tells me why someone bid over $300,000 over the house. It was just a colonial. Nothing, I couldn't find a nice pool, a nice backyard, nothing that said, oh, just crazy, 1.3. Never should sold for 1.3.
Yeah, the first time I went to my I think she lived on it where I told her, her list price was $995. The doctor.
It might have been, it was a yellow house, if you looked it up, it was yellow. I mean, it was a nice size, don't get me wrong, for $989 or $995, that was a good price for it. But 1.3, I just can't. I just can't.
I think we'll go back to
Just crazy, just crazy. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. You can't sit No, I'm glad everybody's catching up in here and seeing each other in real life. I love that. I love that. You and I know, we all were. We were gonna go out afterwards. I think a lot of people were concerned with the COVID, the rise in COVID, and we weren't able to get the outside space yet because the outside space, if you notice, where we had the last time was a patio. Now they've opened up that patio, put stairs on it, are building a ground floor patio and out like this whole space in, and they thought it was gonna be ready. It's not gonna be ready. So I thought, you know, yeah, so that's why. So June 12th, they said it will definitely be ready. We'll definitely be able to stand outside and be together. And I know it sucks, I know. And especially in this weather, right? This is when things start cooling down with COVID normally, but now it's all spiked up right now. So on Friday, I knew 10 people who had COVID last Friday. I knew 10 people. And that's 10 people who told me, right? There's probably a handful of other people that you know, I hadn't talked to or didn't mention it to me. So everybody's doing well. I mean, but still just a little bit crazy right now. So yes, it is May 18th. Yes, next weekend is Memorial Day weekend. I can't believe half of the year will be over in 2 weeks. That's how quickly this year is gone. It's just amazing. So one thing we have to do, not only new agents, we talk about this a lot with new agents, but even with experienced agents in this market specifically, have to, oh, I want to go back. Just trying to get this thing out of my way. I can't. I don't know. These things work on their own. All right, so building your confidence. Again, just because this market can beat you down. We all know that, right? We've all been beaten down. Doesn't matter how experienced you are. Doesn't matter how seasoned you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been in this business. It can constantly, you're going to run through the peaks and valleys, and some of those valleys are going to be just challenging and where you just feel beat up every single day. So we all have self-limiting beliefs. At least I do. Here are some ideas to help fight the voice in your head and build your self-confidence. So stop making promises to yourself and then breaking those promises. So we say if we are going to be successful, it's always easier if we're doing something for somebody else, right? That makes, and if someone holds us accountable. So having an accountability partner is huge in our business. Facilitate little wins every day. Confidence comes from competence. Read and listen to books. Ask someone who is next level what steps got them there and follow them. I was saying this to the new agents yesterday. I don't think agents do that enough. Agents who are seasoned or who do very well in the business, or very active, would love for a new agent to come to them and say, I love what you do on social media. Could you share with me some of your ideas, right? That would be such a boost for an agent. So again, you have to be proactive in reaching out to people who you feel do well in our business. Work on developing your superpowers rather than trying to fix your weaknesses. So we all have superpowers, but we're always focused on our weaknesses instead, right? Always focus on our weaknesses. I don't like making phone calls. I don't like doing this. I don't like open houses. I don't like, right? We have to be more proactive in what is it that we're good at and what can we do to build our business. So I found out my superpower. I realized a few weeks ago. We went to my father's house, me and my sisters, to straighten up and organize. And I organized and straightened up so quickly. I turned around. My sister's still negotiating with my father about something he doesn't want to throw away. I said, this is my superpower. Unfortunately, organizing and cleaning is like my therapy and my superpower. So hopefully you have something better than that. But if you're really good at open houses, then do more open houses. Do them during the week. This environment, you can do them anytime. If you're good at social media, focus on that. Whatever it is that you're good at, that's what you should be putting your time and effort into. Drinking, well, yes, we're all good at that. Okay, so team up is something that we're going to start sharing with you. They put it in a nice way, which is easy for you guys to understand. So every month we get a listing objective and a revenue unit objective. Revenue units, again, are any sales that you have. If you bring the buyer and once you bring in your paperwork to Silvana, that's your revenue unit, or one revenue unit for you for the month. Or if you have a listing, regardless of who sells that listing, you bring that sale in, that's a revenue unit for you too. Okay, so that's how the awards are put together each month, right? That's how we know revenue units, sales volume, dollar volume, listings, right? When you hand it into Silvana. Okay, so this month's revenue unit, and they go based on prior years, is 73 units. Our weekly revenue unit goal for our office is 18. And this week we put 3 in, and month to date we have 35. So we're halfway to our goal, and we're halfway through the month. So that's pretty good. And it's also calculated by how many agents you have in your office as well. That's how they calculate the revenue units each month. So I'm just going to share with you each week so you know where we're at, what we're doing. We share with you on the board, but I don't know that's easy to calculate or it really makes sense as far as where we need to be. So NCJAR, I told a few of you this week, I was invited to a broker manager's NCJAR meeting. And it's going to be a monthly meeting every Thursday of the second week of the month. And it was amazing. I cannot believe there was only 14 people on it, including Gary Large and Mary Kano, as far as managers go, because there was such great information shared. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that we shared. And again, this is a good opportunity. If you guys have any questions that you want me to pose to them, if you have any challenges, obstacles, frustrations, let me know. And then this is a conversation we'll have as a forum, when I meet with them each month. Actually, I'm going to have Silvana meet with me too, because Silvana, I think, would have loved everything that they said, because she loves organization. She loves to be compliant. She loves to follow the rules. So I don't know if anybody knew this. This is one thing I did not know from the meeting. It's the first thing they brought up. Governor Murphy approved agents setting up and being paid as an LLC. So he approved that, but the Real Estate Commission has not approved that. So it's not in effect. It's not in effect yet. Okay. So it's something that may come. These agents always say to me, especially new agents, should I set up an LLC to put in? And you can't, because you can't. Your paychecks have to be made into the name, your legal name. It can't be in an LLC. Okay, because again, it's just, we enter people's homes, so everything has to be done in our legal name. But we'd get a lot of more tax breaks and tax benefits if we were able to set up our business in an LLC. Okay, so that's why so many people would like to do it that way versus doing it the way we do it. We don't get as many tax breaks or benefits. So not sure if it will happen, but again, Governor Murphy has approved it, but our real estate commission has not. So they are working on getting that approved. Okay, hopefully I'll keep you posted with what's going on with that. Another thing, just as a reminder, you are not required to mark a property in attorney review. Okay, you do not have to mark a property in attorney review. In fact, Mary Kano will tell you she thinks it's not a benefit for your seller, and your seller is who you're looking out for, right? And a Jersey MLS. Well, she's saying no, that they cannot make you do it there either. And she wanted one of us to call them and say, do you have to mark it in attorney review? Because, but she's saying that they cannot mandate that and they cannot find an agent for that because the article of that code of ethics, #1, always protect and promote your client. That's what you're doing by not marking it in attorney review. Okay. So again, she feels very strongly. So it's funny you say that, Deb, because I got a call a week or two ago from an NCJAR manager who only puts it in NCJAR, and she said, your agent did not put market in attorney review. It's been in attorney review since blah, blah, blah date. And I said, is it under contract yet? She said, no, because you have to market it under contract. I mean, that you have to do as soon as it happens. But I said, where is that property located? And when she told me, I was like, is it in NCJAR? And she says, yes. I said, you don't have to. She goes, who said? I said, Mary Kano said. Who's Mary Kano? So I gave her number directly. I never heard from her again, so I'm sure Mary told her exactly that. But funnily enough, you know, that's just something I want to remind you guys that you don't have to, right? You don't have to. But again, Deb, if you're not marketing GSMLS, then NCJAR has no idea that it's in attorney review. You have to wait 24 hours. Yes, I know. Yeah, yeah. That she said that they cannot legally or ethically require that you do it and they can't find it for you.
You know, my agent called and asked about the house. I did let them know that it was, you know, an offer had been accepted, it was reviewed, but they could still look at it. So they, you know, it's possible one of those agents
Could call, 100%, 100%, yeah. So again, I'll get more on that GSMLS though. You don't have to mark it in attorney review. Okay, you don't have to mark it in GSMLS. You know, NC is just a pain in the butt. So again, this I thought was very interesting also. So company exclusives and the NAR clear cooperation policies, there's some clarifications. You can market the property such as, this is if it's an exclusive I'm talking about. Not coming soon, people. Coming soon is a whole different conversation we're gonna have, but as an exclusive, you can market the property, so just put up a sign, host an open house, regardless of what MLS the listing is in. So even if it's in NCJAR, if it's in a realtor-owned MLS, like NCJAR, like Hudson, Monmouth Ocean, okay, those are realtor-owned, right? Ours is privately owned, GSMLS. That's why they follow different rules, okay? So Mary and Gary made it very clear in any of those MLSs, because what I was telling agents is in GSMLS, you can do an open house, you can put up a sign, you can market it because Garden State was a privately owned and not following the NAR clear cooperation. Because our state rules, New Jersey state rules says we can do that, so they can't override a New Jersey state rule that we have in place already, okay? That's the reason why. But I didn't realize that in NCJAR you can do that as well. Okay, so you can market it, you could put a sign up, you can host an open house and post it on Facebook and market it however you do, okay? So I thought that was very interesting. All MLSs, so all the MLSs right now, I know we just started with GSMLS adding the exclusives in, right? NJ already had that policy in place. So there is a form that you have to send into NJMLS if you have an exclusive listing. Okay, right now, they're not posted anywhere, right? They're going to be posted everywhere where you can see, there's gonna be a drop down and you can see all the exclusives that are out there, okay? Because everybody's gonna be required to put them in. So that's gonna be the next step where an agent could go in and see exclusives in NJ, see exclusives in GS, see exclusives in Hudson, and see those exclusives that are out there so that you know what's out there. When you see an exclusive from another brokerage that you think your client may be interested, you're gonna have to ask them about cooperation and compensation. So meaning, are they cooperating with other brokers, right? Do they have a waiver of broker cooperation or not? And what are they what's the compensation? Because you know, a lot of agents, when they're not marketing it, will give a reduced rate to the client, right? So not putting it on the market. They're not giving it the full exposure. So they'll do it for 2% or something out to the buyer's agent or whatever, 1%, 1.5%, whatever it is they decide. And a seller does not have to give any compensation to the buyer's broker. Everybody knows that. They can give 0, and then you would have to ask your buyer for it. I've only seen that once in my career, but it can happen. The seller does not have to give cooperation to a buyer's broker. They only give it to the seller's broker. Okay. So just make sure, and every agent, if another agent asks you, if you say, no, I'm sorry, it's an office exclusive, they ask you to provide a copy of the waiver of broker cooperation, you have to provide that. Just like if an agent asks you what's the attorney's information on a property that's an attorney review under contract, you have to provide that. So if an agent doesn't give you that information, that's when the board would step in. Because there's no reason why you wouldn't give that information out, unless you were hiding something or trying to keep, so. Only only if you're waiving it though. And you can have an exclusive and still cooperate with other brokers, right? So only if you're waiving the cooperation, but then yes, it has to be uploaded. And again, the amount of information you have to fill in for an exclusive is very minimal. It's not like filling in it's a full listing. So remember, you are responsible for entering the exclusive into the MLS. NJMLS members must upload an exclusive document, okay? So that's moving forward. So if somebody who everybody loves here more than anything else asks you for something, do not ignore them. They don't ignore you when you ask for something. So that's just something I want to bring up.
Does the exclusive count as
And that's not me, by the way. I know who you love more than anything. It's her over there. You still have to, no, it does not count as a unit for the circle of excellence. You still have to provide whatever documentation is required, additional documentation, in order, if you have a sale because you're not putting it in, you're not marking it as, so, you know what I'm saying? It's not being marked as attorney review under contract and sold in there. It's just simply for agents to see and have, so everybody can see what listings or properties are available. And then lastly, coming soon. You don't even want to say coming soon to Mary Kano right now. Honestly, that's how bad it's become in our industry. So people are not using coming soon in a proper way. It is not made to put on, give yourself 5 days to get your own buyer, let other people in the house or other brokers in your office, market it to your agents. That was not the purpose. Have it closed until the open house starts at 1 o'clock. That was not the purpose of it. So she gets more calls on coming soon than anything else. And so she's talked to Bob Kiplin, who is the president of GSLS, and they are looking into either removing that status and not having it anymore because it's not being used properly, or revising the rules and regulations and being really hard on it because there's homes that are coming soon and then it goes active and it has an asterisk on it. How could that happen if nobody could see that home? It was the same way as a delayed showing. So people are calling her and telling her, how is this happening? I didn't even get to show my client this property. It's on coming soon. I can't get in. And then all of a sudden in a day, it's already under contract. So they're really frustrated. She also said there's a grassroots movement that is actually being put together because of the frustration in the industry of trying to get this coming soon removed. So, yes. Well, they know that. They know. They're yeah. Yeah. Because you're doing it the right way. Like you said, you got 2 appointments coming. You're not shutting it down. It's not coming on Friday, shutting down on Saturday, and nobody can see it. That's the difference. Yeah. I mean, we've all seen it. And that's the right way, but too many people are abusing it. That's the problem. Too many people are abusing it. It's a good point. It's a good point. But I guess how do they manage those people? That's the problem. How do they manage those agents? Yeah. Yes, New Jersey MLS would find you. You'd be in handcuffs and in jail with $1,000 fine. You would be afraid to do it. New Jersey MLS doesn't have a coming soon status. They don't have a coming soon status at NCJAR. So again, there's a reason why, because that would be a whole nightmare. I don't even want to know what that would be like. NCJAR is a nightmare anyway. Well, how could you do that if you haven't gotten any showings?
His client wanted to, have multiple offers, and he already had something in there.
Yep.
While he was getting it ready to go live on the market, he got fired. He got a contract. While it was exclusive, but the seller wanted, I guess, more money. So he went online, as it back then was to delay showing us, and then the showing started that weekend, Saturday, Sunday, but it said in their highest and best was already in there before anybody could even look at it, and I did call and ask, and that's what he said. So it's kind of piggish, right?
Oh, it's really figures. I've seen highest and best, Tuesday at whatever, due to a lot of interest in the property. Not even that they have an offer, like they basically said, due to a lot of interest in the property. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? And then it's still on for another week or so because they never even, they didn't get any offers. And they never do that. They never do that. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of buyers agents are literally not sending offers. Like they're saying, "When are you gonna buy it?"
Yes, yes. The first question every buyer asks and every buyer's agent asks is when is highest and best. That's the first question. They're so, yeah, so crazy. You can get the attorney's name, right? Most people are forthcoming, but there's those ones that you can't get in touch with, and then they won't give you any, like, I don't need to give you that, and everything's a fight and everything's an argument. Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah, no, true. If they have an offer, that's when you want to send it to them, so they should know who the attorney is. Yes. Well, fair housing is huge now, right? They're really cracking down on fair housing, and that's why they added now that people have to sign. That, I guess in some ways, but it's just not being fair to the public. That the bottom line is, it's not fair to the public. We're not giving the public a fair chance to get an opportunity to see a home and put an offer on it, if that's what they want to do. So that's why that's all happening. Another thing is, oh, it was just on the top of my mind and now I lost it. Oh, so if your seller tells you, I don't want any more showings, and it's an attorney review, or what your show, whatever your seller tells you, as long as it's ethical and compliant, even if you don't necessarily like it or don't, always get it in writing. Get everything in writing, even a text or an email. Mary said, because they're saying stuff and then they change their minds afterwards when they find out, oh, I could have done this or I could have done that. So make sure that you get everything in writing. Right, Terry Dearness? Everything. She's the best at all that. That's why I said that. Not because she doesn't do it, because she doesn't. She does do it. So always ask yourself this one question. Whenever you're questioning, what should I do? You know, is this in the best interest of my client? That's all you should be asking yourself all day long. Is this in the best interest of my client? When another buyer is saying, please, I'll give you this amount and we'll take it off the market or whatever the case may be, is this in the best interest of my client? You always have to ask yourself that. So again, just a reminder, any questions, concerns, and challenges you would like me to present, let me know. My next meeting is Thursday, June 9th, and we meet the second Thursday of each month. So, yes. It did. No, but it's the same exact rules. It's just a different name. That's really all they did was change the name of it. Yes. No, because what happened was a few years ago, before COVID, people started wanting to have pocket listings, right? That's what we used to call them, pocket listings. So prior to the NAR clear cooperation policy, prior to COVID, prior to all this stuff, people started getting savvy and saying, agents, I should say, listing agents started getting savvy and said, I'm going to put this on coming soon so I can get all the calls on Zillow and Trulia, right? When all the leads were coming in, when we had more lead flow coming off the internet, they were like, I'm going to put it on as a coming soon and I'm going to get all those calls and I'm going to sell it myself. And then that's when I guess the public started complaining that they weren't getting a fair share of getting into homes if they didn't know that agent, right? And they couldn't get in with their agent because it was already gone. So that's when the clear cooperation policy came out. And because of that, GSMLS thought, well, we have this status. It's the same thing as delayed showing, but since people are using that term more, why don't we just turn it to coming soon versus keeping it as delayed showing? And then that spiraled out of control. So there's always those few that sort of take what we give them and obviously do something negative with it, and then it affects us all. And that's what's happening in this case, unfortunately. So.
10.
Well, the MLS says 10. If you do more than 10, then you have to extend it. So they have 10 as their basis. It was the same thing as delayed showing. The delayed showing, what delayed showing really was is your client's preparing the home. They have one more contractor coming out to paint the last hallway or whatever. You wanted to just get it out there. So if anything else came out, people knew it was coming. And so you'd put it as a delayed showing. And they can see, like, if there was a buyer on the fence, they might wait and say, oh, I want to see this house before I make a decision, right? So that was the purpose of just getting more eyes on it before it actually got out. Because people were actually, and you used to have to put what they were doing on the form. Like, what's the purpose for the delayed showing? Now, it's just coming soon and, again, just getting out of control. So are more homes coming on the market? What do you guys think? What do you guys see in the market? Do you see more homes coming on? So in Morris County and GSMLS, the first 3 months, we had about 500 homes, approximately 500 homes a month. And in April, we had 800 homes. So maybe you don't feel it because they go off the market so quickly, but there is a spike in inventory. There has been, and we'll see that when we see our absorption report too. So early signs, I don't know why I can't get this thing to go back up. It's torturing me. Or maybe I just move it somewhere else. Hopefully that works. Okay, so early signs inventory may be growing. The latest data from Realtor.com shows the number of listings coming onto the market known in the industry as new listings has increased since the start of the year. So as you can see, it gradually went up. This is nationwide, obviously, and this is in thousands, to April where it's like 492, almost 500,000.
Is that including the coming soon or only one?
It's saying new listings only. New listings, but a new listing isn't coming soon because it is going on Realtor.com and Zillow, so I guess that would include it. But that's where they're getting their data from. Homes are still selling quickly, but while new listings are increasing, it's important to know they're also selling quickly. The latest Realtors Confidence Index from NAR shows the median days on market for recently sold homes since the beginning of the year. I can't see this thing. I'm gonna go like this. There has to be a way. Fine. There we go. Okay. So in January, homes were selling at 19. There was, and again, and this is thousands, 19, 18, 17. So we're not seeing homes sell as quickly as they were. So that's declining month by month. Okay. So a little bit, just a little bit. It's very slightly, like we thought we'd see it, but softening once we hit higher interest rates. This indicates more sellers are listing their homes for sale each month this year, and according to Realtor.com, this growth is expected to continue. Their research finds the majority of potential sellers plan to list their home over the next 6 months. So market may see a noticeable bump in the number of homes for sale as we move through spring and into summer. Majority of homeowners planning to sell this year indicated that they aim to list in the next 6 months, with almost 10% having already placed their properties on the market. So what does that say to me? The agents who have been doing things consistently to get listings are going to be the ones that get these opportunities. You can't start now and say, oh, more listings are come on, let me see what I can do. It has to be a plan you have in place for your business every single day, when things are good, when things are bad, when things are slow, when things are busy. You have to be consistent in your business. So I thought these were some fun facts to share with you about real estate in general. So how high home prices can go. Here are the most expensive zip codes in 2022. Anybody guess some of them?
San Francisco.
Where, okay, there's one in New Jersey. Can anybody guess which town that is? I'm still going for it. So, no, the most expensive zip codes, what the most, based on what their average home sale is right now in 2022, what their most expensive zip codes are. So, Atherton, California. I can't even say Sagaponack. I guess I just said it, but I've never heard of it. Telluride, Colorado. Paradise Valley, Arizona. Palm Beach, Florida. Stone Harbor, New Jersey. Huh. Interesting. Stone Harbor. It's right next to Wildwood. Yeah. It's my neighbor. Greenwich, Connecticut. Vineyard Haven, Massachusetts. Palawa, Hawaii, and Sun Valley, Idaho. Believe it or not, in Idaho, they have a most expensive.
Well, that's all the big ranches.
Yeah. So that's the average median list price in those towns. Look at that. From 15 million in Atherton to 4 million in Sun Valley, Idaho. That's the median list price in their home. So guys, you just need to sell like how many of those a year to match what you do now?
And they're all moving south.
And they're all moving south. Metros with the cheapest homes for sale. Peoria, Illinois, Terre Haute, Indiana, Saginaw, Michigan, Youngstown, Ohio, Davenport, Iowa, Erie, PA, Charleston, West Virginia, Utica, New York, Macomb, Georgia, and Topeka, Kansas. True? It's true? You believe it? Macon, is that what you were saying? Macon, like bacon, bacon. Macon like bacon, Macon, Georgia. Where home prices are falling the most. So these are the places that's seeing the biggest drop in home pricing. Toledo, Ohio, Rochester, New York. I'm surprised at that one for some reason. Detroit, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Springfield, Massachusetts, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Los Angeles, California, Memphis, Tennessee, Chicago, Illinois, and Richmond, Virginia. And I researched a little bit more to find out why that was, and it's because of jobs and employment. That's why the home prices are falling, because of limited employment in those places where they used to have a lot.
If you look, they're also like some of the burger capitals.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Very good point. And with the lack of safety right these days, that would make a lot of sense. So national home prices surged this past year. So again, this is an average and this is national, right? We feel like, I'm sure we were all say we saw a higher increase in our area. But so last year, April 21 was about 372,000 to April 2022, 425,000. So how high are, oh, I didn't do that one. I didn't think it was appropriate. Mortgage rates have experienced I'm not going to say that word, growth in the past year. So from 2.96, I was saying this over, I say this every week to Anthony. Last year it was 2.9. Last year it was 2.9. To 5.27. That was May 5th. It's probably higher today. I don't even know. Anthony will share that with us. But again, just that's incredible right there, right? Just how quickly it happened. Not that we're at this number. It's just how quickly it happened. It was within a month or so, right? I mean, that's how quickly it rose that quick. So I thought it was just fun information to share about what's going on nationally. So some office updates. Remember, exclusive listings, you guys mentioned that NCJAR MLS. Our corporate headquarters spring cleanup day is going to be next Wednesday after the meeting. So if you have paper, I know a lot of you have been waiting for a shredder so that you can get rid of a lot of your files, and that's why you didn't want to get rid of them, because you have a lot of private and personal information on it. You just want to throw it in the garbage. So we will have a bin that Rich is going to provide to us, that we put it in, and then they're going to come, the truck will come. I actually saw it here yesterday, shredding. So I don't know how often it comes, but it must come often. And it's a bin that is locked. You know, it's not just like this open thing, so that it is secure for your client stuff. So we can do some cleanups in our office and straighten them out, and I'm happy to help. Because that's my superpower, cleaning and organizing. That's why I can't wait to do this. So I might ask Laura for some help here. So I know we've seen landing pages and marketing reports in the past. This is one of the things we did early on when we rolled out My Wiker, right? We did a lot of these, but I thought this was really awesome way to get attention for people getting weekly market reports. So free weekly market reports, it's a new target way to do a landing page for people to get engagement on your website, and then for you to get them into your CRM and start sending them out weekly market reports. So engage your viewers, build a pipeline of opportunities in your database, and then these are the steps to create the landing page report. So Laura knows how to do this. She can help anyone. I keep really recommending that you guys set up time, because that system is amazing and it works for you when you're not working on it, when you're out in the field working, but you have to take and invest time in it little by little, take little baby steps, little bite-sized pieces of it on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to understand how it works and get it to work for you and your business. So customize our landing page template, and then here's all the instructions. But I think this is a real catchy thing for people who want to keep up to date with what's going on in the market. This is something you put on your social media pages, right? This is where you attract attention. Does anybody have any questions about this? No.
then you can, you know, whatever change. No, so what you can do, set it up, it will see those next. But then we have to. Well, you can just use that link.
You can use the same link over and over again. So it's only 2 minutes. The first time is going to take you a little bit more time to put together, different towns, which is fine. After that, then it's just, you could just rotate it by adding the link once a week or once every month or once every 2 weeks. So you don't have to redo it. Yeah, that's a good question. So tomorrow is our MTS workshop. 9 a.m. is the advanced one, I believe. Is that correct? Yes.
It's almost the same content.
And then 1 o'clock is the more intermediate or beginner one. Creating QR codes. QR codes are huge. I know you guys have to be like, even on the TV now, a QR code comes up and you're like picking your phone up to figure out what the content is of the commercial. Every restaurant you go to, anywhere you are these days are QR codes. And so, when we introduced them back, I don't even remember, 10, 15 years ago, they never really took off. Now, because of COVID and being touch-free and hand-free and all that touchless, it's everywhere you go, right? You sit down at a table somewhere and you scan the menu. They no longer give you a menu. So this is what people are doing. Make sure it's on all of your marketing pieces. Because the whole point is you want to engage people, you want to get them to your website, and that's the way you do that. So when Deb meets somebody now and they ask her for a business card, she holds out her QR code, they scan it, and then they have all her information in their phone. And that's something that more and more people, who wants a business card right now, right? It ends up in your card, ends up at the bottom of your pocketbook, it ends up everywhere but where it's supposed to be. So QR codes are huge. How are you notified when you get a valuation? What will you see when you get the valuation? And CMA Builder. So that's what the content is for tomorrow. And there's 2 classes. Don't be intimidated if you can't go to the 1 o'clock one, which is a little bit more, beginner, than the intermediate one in the morning. Just attend it, because you'll learn something from each class you go to. Remind Pro, I told you this coming Monday, 10 to 11, I'm going to be holding this in our in the office, because I can't do it on Zoom because I'm not the one who's hosting the meeting, so I can't look at it and put it on Zoom. If you want to come in and learn more about Remind, this Monday morning, 10 to 11, I'll be holding it in the meeting room. And the question last week was, NGLS has Remind Pro, but in GSLS we don't. Yes, we do have Remind Pro in GSLS. We have it in both places, so it's the same content. So just make sure that you attend, and if you can't, GSLS is having a webinar as well. It popped up the other day when I opened up my GSLS, so make sure you're going in there doing it on your own if you have NGMLS for this weekend, for this Monday, it's an intro to Remind, or coming into the office and just doing it together with me. So, because this is really a great and amazing resource and tool for your business. And then week 7 is Monday, also at 1 o'clock. Full resource refresh through my Wiper and full retriever. So again, getting opportunities to get people's names, phone numbers, emails, all that stuff. So I believe, Laura, did you say that they've upgraded the call? Okay. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. So attend that. That's Monday at 1 o'clock. It's live and via Zoom. So that's good information. And then there's a new date for our happy hour, which is supposed to be today. It's moved to Tuesday, June 14th. The reason being is because the outdoor spaces are ready and a lot more people are comfortable outdoors at this point. So we moved it to when the outdoor space will be ready. So it's moved to Tuesday, June 14th. And, you know, they promised us basically that the outdoor space will be ready then. So Anthony.
Last week was kind of quiet last week, which is a good thing. Inflation reports were focused, both retail and wholesale inflation reports showed that the inflation continued to be evaluated. However, there were signs that inflation could be starting to peak. Rates eased a bit in the past week as we hope that to turn the corner as far as inflation. So, in my opinion, so if inflation is back down, we'll see some more creep. So, people are talking about the rates at top end of inflation. This week was 60 day on retail sales, industrial production, and existing home sales.
You had enough for some watermelon cost today? I know you would, Lori. $8 to $9. $8 at Walmart, $9 at regular stores for Walmart watermelon right now.
I guess I'm isolated.
$4 or $5. It's double, it's double. It's double what it was. See, I know you would, yeah. I know you would, yes. That's what, that Walmart $7.99.
She's trying to go for the mall. You guys recall last week's slide, the average the so we kind of bounced down off that. We'll see how things go. We did get an alert to lock yesterday, Labor Day-ish, like great pressure this morning, so we'll kind of see how that looks out. We talked about the mobile phone app. All of you guys should have it. Not using it, highly recommend it. There's a lot of information about you guys on there, along with me too as well. About company interest rates, how to calculate things, share with our partners, benefits of the programs that we have out there. So definitely utilize it when you can. If you guys aren't using it, if you're not using it, you're not familiar with it, definitely grab a hold of me. We can do one-on-one. Talks about, prospects, things of that nature, the guarantee program that we offer, everything's kind of right at the buyer's. Again, sellers and buyers are now eligible for the $5,000 guarantee. Just make sure that addendum is being executed on the contracts. Now, before we get to that question, I know we were talking about obviously the listings coming out. We're starting to see more traction as far as that end of the deal. What are you seeing about like new buyers?
Good question. So I know you've all been working with buyers for months, years, decades, whatever the case may be at this point. Yes. Have you been meeting new buyers that just got into the market that are still ready to move, to buy something in this environment?
I mean, on my end, it's a lot slower for new opportunities. And even the other challenge I'm seeing is even on the potential opportunities, neither of us, whatever we do on the first shot. Give this person a call, and it's like, hey, I just left you a message, so and so told me to call you, text, share the app, just making sure I wait a couple days, not even there, but wait a couple days, just want to make sure you got my message, and following back with you, and I heard from you. It's weird, because I mean, there's a fair amount of those type of people that are either confused or have to just do a drive-by that Sunday. Yeah, give me a call. I've seen a lot of that. Just never even making that connection, or I don't think I'm ready right now, or it's too. That was the house I was looking for, but I'm gonna hold off on getting great food. That's the house. Well, I guess I was having a conversation with people. That's why I'm looking for answers.
It's a huge, when you think about it, from 3%, like 3.25 or whatever, December, to where we are now, you basically cut a good portion of those buyers to the market. And a lot of those buyers are first-time home buyers, and they're looking at FHA and VA. I had a conversation with an agent yesterday, and I said, listen, my buyers, either FHA or VA, I said, listen, we have 17 offers, and the VAs and the FHAs are the bottom pile. They're not even looking at the FHA or the VA buyer.
And I tell that all the buyers that are unfortunately only getting that way. I don't giving them an option, like, hey, listen, you can go conventional, but understand that the payment's gonna be $2 or $3 more because mortgage insurance. You know, so you can offer it, you know, it's just one of those things. I have buyers, this is the last, think that's all. Because that's the only way that we're getting the house. They weren't accepting of themselves from an FHA loan. That's just the way it goes. But you're still going to contend with that from now, beyond, and always. And whenever you have a conventional FHA, someone will think they are conventional all the time. But just how we kind of present that differently. And, you know, are you working with someone like myself? We can have a list of agents, making that call, letting them know that we've already had a deal together. It's already been through underwriting. Nothing needs to worry about. The house is the initial, not having an issue with it. So it's all, yeah, it's important. It's challenging. But it's more of a challenge now.
Before you could like wiggle around it.
Yeah, because you want to sort of offer, maybe a little higher conventional.
But I am seeing that if a client or a buyer has funds, they just choose to go with FHA because they're getting a better, lower payment, like Anthony was saying. They're putting it down. I had a conversation with agents yesterday about this. They're putting down 14, 15,000 and then getting a credit back on closing so that they are putting more money down. And so they do have more skin in the game as far as the seller goes. So there is ways to do that if they have the opportunity, if they can, right? If they can.
You have to, you know, you don't want to do work like in a cash conventional.
Especially when you're listing, you know, most of the people are sliding down to the bottom. And I had this conversation like you do. You understand it's on the market. 50% of people I talk to, they're really not that into it. I just want to be where you kind of go a little bit highlight everything, but like this, you need to understand, you know, what's kind of happening right now. Very different from if years ago when you come into the water with it, maybe you got to back in. That's the reason why I now that maybe bought 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm pretty clear on that, but they want to re-up on the house. Listen, different market. We did this last time. This is how things are playing out now. Understand this is how things are going to go down. Don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated. Everybody's dealing with it. But from a competition standpoint, someone made them more gains over the last 6 months as a buyer. They're willing to get out of the comfort zone. And you may not, and that's okay. But understand that this is how this is going to play itself out. That you may lose not 1, but 5, but 7 deals before you potentially get one. And it's what can you do to kind of really have them separate themselves? There's only so much we can, you know, from you being all over the listing agent. The listing agent that I know personally, someone in our office, you know, stressing the affordability of the client. I messaged this out some agent the other day. I don't know if I'm like, this one, I already had a commitment for this buyer. On a different home, you'll just fall apart for some inspections, you know. So at least she knew that part. I've already done my due diligence. We've already had this home already. And at least it makes them feel a little bit more confident versus someone she has no idea about. I'm stressing the qualification. So, you know, just doing whatever we possibly can to kind of really just stress that. New buyers out there, yeah, we're engaging, right? Like chasing people, emailing, following up, and one of these like, thanks, not returning my calls either.
Yeah, that's what everyone thinks. It's your job, right, as a professional to really get in front of people and say that how the pricing is not, you're not in a bubble. That is not going to come down. That's the opposite of what people think.
Three quarter.
So you hear that? A 3/4 point hit coming. So, I mean, really, people need to lock in. They need to put their money where their mouth is, come in with a strong offer and just get something done because that's huge. That's huge. And Silvana, where Silvana was looking, you know, everybody knows Silvana's looking in the future. They don't put a contract together. They do like a letter of intent. So they're just, and I wonder if that's ever going to happen here. When it comes to the point, I mean, I feel like as far as the buyers go, they're not going to be as I feel like they're not moving forward in good faith. If they're not going forward, filling out a whole contract, signing it, right? Everybody would like to throw out a number and a terms and say, could you ask him if they'll accept this, right? So I feel like it's more like that. So I hope it doesn't come down here. That's what I said, right, yes, exactly. They're more engaged, they're more involved in the transaction versus just, here, sign here, what do you want to put down? And then, you know, they're not really feel committed.
You know, see what happens.
No.
An offer, that's nothing.
Right, they do not have to submit a written offer, completely written offer to their sellers within 24 hours. They don't have to, you know, the real estate commission does not regulate that we provide a verbal offer or anything to a client. It has to be a fully executed or fully written.
You know,
Yes.
and I like,
Yeah. They're already did that. They don't need. I'm not saying they're doing it. I'm just saying that's what they're doing, and that's part of New Jersey. I hope it doesn't come here. Marissa?
going back to Anthony's question, I noticed it was
Renewing as renters. Renters who are wanted to be buyers are now renewing their lease. Yeah.
A lot of time, right? A lot of time with them too as well, though, like, listen, I think you could be homeless, it's not working out, they have to make a decision. Some people have sold, moved in with mom and dad, come to the early. For 2 weeks that they had this, you know, 6 months later. I'm like, listen, yeah, or a year later, right? They're like, all right, I love you, mom and dad, but I'm done. If they're lucky enough to get away.
That's the other thing, right? Why leave and try and take a gamble on trying to get something, what they're gonna pay, all the other stuff. Moving costs, commission, all that stuff, yeah. What are? Oh, yes. The buyers feel that, right, we're in a bubble for, and the market's gonna crash, yes.
I'm chasing a lot of people, not, you know, crazy people, but just, yeah, people just not being too responsive. If you guys engage with the situation. I got a question for you guys. There are 2 things you can set guidelines on. First, for performing loans. What are their names? A, Ginnie Mae, Freddie, Fannie Mae. B, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. C, Freddie Mac and FHA. D, Ginnie Mae and FHA. Who's up?
You've got to be a trigger.
That's why I'm thinking A, because I think it's a trick.
If you press the button again, there'll be a little hit on the bottom.
Oh, did they hit?
Sometimes they put a hit.
That's not helping you guys.
Just confused you more.
Next.
So here are the numbers. Now look at Parsippany, up to 53 listings this week or active listings in Parsippany. 36 under contract, which is down a few, but Morris Plains, Hanover, East Hanover, they're about the same. Denville is about the same. Randall's up to 43 from 28. That's the spike, right? That's a huge spike. Rockaway Township's up to 42. Booton from 4 to 13, right? Booton was staying low for, that's just Booton Township. So, Morris Township up to 35 from 22. Montville's up to 42. So these numbers, Chatham's up to 58. So numbers are starting to rise as far as active listings. So, oh, yes, that probably won't change for a while. Even if it starts going down a little bit, it probably won't catch up for a few months. But yes, the list price, sold price is still over asking. I was saying before everybody got here that I noticed, I always look at what's sold regardless. I saw a house on Akebert. Everybody know Akebert in Morris Township? It has that, like, if you're coming off Sussex Turnpike, like, it's just like this weird, yeah. It went on for like $989 or $990. It sold for 1.3. I'm sitting there looking at the pictures, waiting for like this picture to come up that's gonna blow my mind. It never did. There was nothing, like, it was a pretty house, don't get me wrong, for 989 or 990, but not for 1.3. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Very hill, it is, it's all the hill. It's like this, like, it's like you're going up a mountain, basically, which you are, but I was just surprised, so. So office listings coming soon on the market. Ben has 15 Franklin Ave. Where are you, Ben? Oh, I don't know why I can't find you.
Three bedroom, 1.5 bath, storm cover. Four cars, detached garage. Have, the city and I'm support on Saturday. Decorated and, Labor Day Sunday, Barbara.
Thank you for sharing the wealth. Thank you for sharing the wealth. Mark and Virginia have 23 Corvair Place in Wayne coming on the market. They've been working on that a while and helping this person like really. Mark, if you see Mark on social media, he's like power washing people's houses that he's going to list. Like he gets his hands dirty. He is. He's awesome. I believe this came active today. 39 Wilson Avenue is over. Gloria House from 965. Carlos and Patty. Yes. 620, 627 Fairfield Ave. So when is that coming active? Saturday. Catherine? Okay.
And I did it all right.
All right. Are you sure? Are you sure?
David's gonna be active.
Did anybody see your house prior to it coming on active? Did anybody see that your house prior to it coming active?
They'll be under contract.
Now, until 7 o'clock at night, or then after that, and Thursday, Friday, and open house Saturday. It's a really cool house. It's very.
Yeah, it looks very neat. It really does. That was a great price point too. That's what it gets so much activity. Exclusives, Lori has 32 Hillsborough Court.
Friday, and it's Cascade Unit, which is the largest unit in Stoneview. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, it has a full finished walkout basement. Very nice.
This is 889. Did you know the price point? Because I did see it come on the market the other day. It's free. It's free.
I'll take two.
It is 889. 10 Rock Spring Road in Chester, Michael and Priscilla. And then new listings. Oh, here it is again. With the price. You missed it when it was exclusive. You could have got it for free. Now you have to pay 889. Okay. Tabitha and Howard had a 19th Valley Road in Roxbury. I believe they've already taken a contract, or they did highest and best. They had a lot of activity on that house. Gorgeous house for $549. Yeah, especially for that price point. 19 Haddon Parsippany.
Does he sing?
David Passy. Oh. That was the first concert I saw when I was little with the Partridge Family. I want you to know. Okay, I went to David Cassidy. I'll never forget it. I was very, very little.
But we have, our insurance rep, one rep. Sister is,
Oh, no. She's the head of referral. Her sister's Debbie Gibson. Yes. Anybody else have any new listings coming on?
Still on the market. It's the lot. It's the handle. It's right corner lot. It's because of the neighborhood dropped out the next day and had her simply constant showings.
We're gonna sought after a little street in Randolph, everyone knows it, yeah, always, it's a little cul-de-sac off of, West Hanover. Vin is in, Vin is selling it by 5 o'clock tonight. You speaking his language. So, yes.
I have a little rental, I was hoping it wasn't gonna be illegal. It's a two-family house in Denville, Franklin Road. And, it's one fairly large room with a kitchenette in it, and then a little bedroom, and a beautiful bathroom, and a lot of money on the bathroom. And, the property is over an acre. 1.66. The woman has 2 extra lots on it, so I'd like to keep in touch with this lady. I want to subdivide, and she lives on Zeke Road.
But you can't retire for a long time.
Very, very small rental, and she wants $1,100.
You could probably get that right away.
So I'm going away on my cruise. Nothing's going to get controls on it if they can take a minute. And, that's it. So, I'm going to try to get it on today. So they keep us on it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Everybody's going away basically, and Dante's covering for everybody basically. That's what I'm hearing right now. Anybody else have anything new or coming soon in search of? $4,000. Grant info, so Rosalie Tenseth from our Randolph office is doing a broker's luncheon today in Lake Apacon. I can't see any information. 21 Shore Road in Apacon. It's a luncheon and it's, I can't see anything. I don't know, people. She sent a mass text yesterday. It's in Lake Apacon, 21 Shore Road. But I can't for some reason see. Oh, here it is. Sorry, 12 to 2. 12 to 2 today. 21 Shore Road in Lake Apacon. So let me pick the winner for this week. Carol Polk.
You could have half the
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for coming today. Nice.
We put in MLS, but these are coming soon. And we're going to have an open house this Saturday and Sunday. But in Seattle, it's not syndicating the open house, only one day, Saturday, but not the